So today another of Aurobindo's beautiful epigram. Sorry, just a moment. So what I was telling you, it's a beautiful one again. A few shall see what none yet understands. God shall grow up while the wise men talk and sleep. For man shall not know the coming till its hour, and belief shall be not till the work is done. This is the epigram, but we'll go a few lines back, maybe 15, 16 lines. Then we'll get the whole picture. First, we'll read the whole passage. When darkness deepens, strangling the earth's breast, and man's corporeal mind is the only lamp, as a thief's in the night shall be the covert tread of one who steps unseen into his house. A voice ill-heard shall speak, the soul obey, a power into mind's inner chamber steal, a charm and sweetness open life's closed doors, and beauty conquer the resisting world. The truth light capture nature by surprise. A stealth of God compel the heart to bliss, and earth grow unexpectedly divine. In matter shall be lead the spirit's flow, in body and body kindled the sacred birth. Night shall awake to the anthem of the stars. The days become a happy pilgrim march. Our will a force of the eternal's power, and thought the rays of a spiritual sun. A few shall see what none yet understands. God shall grow up while the wise men talk and sleep. For man shall not know the coming till its hour, and belief shall be not till the work is done. I think something is causing a trouble today. So, first, when darkness deepens, strangling the earth's breast, and man's corporeal mind is the only lamp, as a thief's in the night shall be the covert tread of one who steps unseen into his house. So, when things get depressed on earth, depressed, dismal, and darkness seems to be everywhere, all around the earth, and it seems that darkness strangles the earthly life itself, and there is no way out to come out of it. And when there is only a light that guides is this physical mind. This physical mind, as we know, cannot go too far. It has its limitations. So eventually it cannot bring about any concrete change to earthly dilemma, earthly problems. And in those moments precisely, the divine, he says beautifully, as a thief in the night shall be the covered tread of one. This one who he is referring to is the Saviour, the divine, who steps unseen into his house as a thief in the night. How a thief comes to a house in the night? Very stealthily, without making any sound, so that nobody can hear him come. Likewise, the divine also comes in those absolutely darkened moments in earthly life to uplift earth. But he is not seen by the humanity. A voice ill-heard shall speak, the soul obey, a power into mind's inner chamber steal. A charm and sweetness open life's closed doors, and beauty conquer the resisting world. The truth light capture nature by surprise. A stealth of God compel the heart to bliss, and earth grow unexpectedly divine. Then what will happen? Normally, when divine speaks to us, we cannot hear, because it is the physical ear through which we hear the sounds, and with this physical ear, the voice of the divine cannot be heard, and even if it is heard, it is indistinct. So it is not heard. But he says, Aurobindo says that the soul, of course, knows it. The soul will obey when the divine speaks. And a new higher power will steal into the inner chambers of the mind. And that inner chamber is what? As we discussed last time also, it is the subliminal, the inner mind. And what happens? The doors of life then, which are normally closed, are opened by a fascinating sweetness. And although this world, which wants to wallow, which wants to be steeped in his words, Sri Aurobindo's words, mud mass ugliness. We on earth want to wallow in mud, the mud of ignorance, the mud of desires, all these things. So, but what happens when the divine comes in? Then he throws away all the resisting tendencies of the humanity, which always blocks the entry of the divine into his arena, that is earth. And beauty conquer the resisting world, the world which always resists and rejects the incoming powers of God, finally cannot stay on, but the beauty of the divine with his coming sweeps away all the resistances earth poses. The defenses of the ignorant world thus falls away, and the truth light capture nature by surprise. A stealth of God compel the heart to bliss, and earth grow unexpectedly divine. Whatever the circumstances of life, this entry, stealthy entry rather, of God will compel the heart to feel the bliss. And the sooner than we expect, it will do its job in such a way that earth will grow divine, and whatever till then was resisting will be swept away by his entry. In matter shall be lit the spirit's glow, in body and body kindle the sacred birth. Night shall awake to the anthem of the stars, the days become a happy pilgrim march, our will a force of the eternal's power, and thought the rays of a spiritual sun. This matter, which is inconscient and blind now, this whole our being is formed of matter only. So this is inconscient, ignorant, gross. It is full of grossness. So even in this grossness, even in this matter, the spirit will glow, shine in this bodily form. That means the flame of the spirit shall be lit in matter. In each person, in each form, this sacred flame of God will be kindled. And night, he says, night shall awake to the anthem of the stars, the days become a happy pilgrim march. The night will no more sink in its normal, usual sleep, but will awake to the chant of the stars. The days become a pilgrim march, means a purposive, all these days on earthly life will be a purposive march towards a sacred predestined destination, which has been charted out by the divine himself, because we do not know now because of our limitation and ignorance, but it is going towards that end only under the able supervision of the divine. Each day will be a step farther towards its goal. Instead of then becoming an instrument of the desire driven by the ego, which normally is the daily affair of human life, now what will happen? He says, it will be the eternal's power, force of the eternal, which will replace it. Replace the ego-driven tendencies. Each thought of ours then will turn into a ray of the spiritual sun. That is the truth knowledge. It will not be something searching for truth, but radiating the truth itself. Then finally he comes to his beautiful lines. A few shall see what none yet understands. God shall grow up while the wise men talk and sleep. For man shall not know the coming till its hour, and belief shall be not till the work is done. So it is so beautiful, although it seems to be contradictory. First we see how he is giving us the picture of a dismal, distressful earth in which we toil. Humanity toils always, initially. But then behind the scene, the divine is always there, and he leads us, coming to the rescue of the humanity in those dire moments when everything seems to be lost and there seems to be no hope at all on earth. And we people see all around the sound, the omen of destruction everywhere. It is in those moments, precisely in those moments, the divine comes in stealthily, because we do not know, we do not see him, neither we do hear him with our physical senses, and he in his part does whatever is required. Now in the last few lines, what he says, a few shall see what none yet understands. God shall grow up while the wise men talk and sleep. Now see, the whole of humanity doesn't know how all this change and transpiration can take place, may happen, because it seems well nigh impossible. Who can bring this change? We can imagine such things, but how can it come? We do not see it happening. But the divine's plan is totally different, and he selects a few and enfolds in his or through his divine grace, who this select few know and understand, and will even be seeing the advent of things which are gradually coming in, are taking shape on earth, and finally a day will come when all these things will be very familiar. But before that, for those other people, most of the people, rather majority of the people living on earth, they, as it is, being highly philosophical in their approach, they are philosophers, they are scholars, men of knowledge. What they do, they go on debating and arguing about the most inevitable thing which is going to happen. That is, they will be disputing about whether God exists or not, or whether this world has a purpose or not, and if it is so, then where is the science, and all those things. They will be debating and arguing on all these lines, but never reach a conclusion, because still they are limited in their mental approach. They cannot go too far, as we now know, when coming across to Sri Aurobindo It has become so clear now. So they will not be knowing. But meanwhile, the divine presence shall gradually manifest on earth in different ways, in different means, and enlarging itself, its scope of action in all the fields. But this is not visible to humanity at large. And also, man will not be aware of the approaching event till the moment of its concrete realization. People on earth needs proof, because they still live in this mental framework beyond which they cannot go. They believe in proof. They do not have faith. Faith in something which is or which does come from the source itself, that is the divine, that is lacking. And that is why they become septic. They will always doubt, even if something seems to be taking shape, even if one or two sees some light of the coming events and talks about it, the other lot, the majority, will dismiss it straight away, because as he says, for man shall not know the coming till its hour, and belief shall be not till the work is done. Till it is concrete, till something is concretely done on earth, which can be seen through the physical eyes, which can be felt physically, people will not be believing. But meanwhile, God shall grow up while the wise men talk and sleep. They while away their precious time arguing and debating, but do not want to get into the core of things, core of truth. In this connection, there was a beautiful message of the mother that was on 24th April, Darshan Day, 1956, and it is very relevant. That's why I just wanted to share with you. She said on 24th April 1956 that the manifestation of the supramental upon earth is no more a promise, but a living fact, a reality. It is at work here, and one day will come when the most blind, the most unconscious, even the most unwilling shall be obliged to recognize it. Very straight and clear cut. And it comes straight away from the mother herself, pronouncing what is presently the outlook of humanity, but what or how it will change to a concrete reality for themselves, for the humanity in the days to come. It is a pointer, this message is a pointer towards that. So, although it seems at times, most of the times, that we do not see anything good, anything that is beautiful, everything is darkness all around, or beating of battle drums, clangor of destruction, and all that is what is going on earth for quite some time. Parallelly, behind all this, the divine is also taking the reins to make this earthly life a life divine. And we may not see it happening right now, but the days are not very far when things will be totally different than we normally perceive it to be. It is not something which is based on some imagination or of this kind, but it is a truth, and that truth is manifesting gradually. It cannot manifest in a trice. No truth has manifested on earth in a trice. It takes a lot of time to hew its way out, and it does very meticulously, so that there is not left anything behind which can afterwards creep in to dilute the whole process or becomes a hindrance afterwards. That is why it is done in a very meticulous way, and that province belongs to Ma Saraswati, aspect of the Divine Mother, which is going on in full thrust now. So for the day, that's it. Jai Ma. If you have something, you can ask. Okay.